Have you ever noticed how some people get respect effortlessly, while others are constantly ignored or taken for granted? The difference isn't luck, it's boundaries. Respect isn't something you demand, it's something you earn. And the key to earning it lies in the boundaries you set. When you protect your time, speak with clarity, control your emotions, live by your principles, and guard your personal space, people naturally treat you differently. In this video, we're going to explore 5 boundaries that command unwavering respect, backed by timeless wisdom from Stoic philosophers. By applying these, you'll start transforming how people see and treat you immediately. Number 1. Protect your time like a Stoic emperor. Time is one of the most finite resources you have, yet it is often treated as if it has no value. Seneca warned centuries ago, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Every moment you allow someone else to dictate is a moment you surrender of your own power. Start by identifying what truly matters to you. What projects, goals, or routines define your path? Once you have clarity, communicate your limits clearly. Phrases like, "I can't take this on right now, let's schedule another time," or "I need to focus on this task first," are simple yet powerful. They signal that your time is precious and non-negotiable. Practical example: if someone calls during your focused work hours with an unnecessary question, respond respectfully but firmly. "I'm in the middle of a task. I can call you at 4 p.m. If friends or colleagues constantly demand your attention without regard for your schedule, evaluate whether these relationships honor your boundaries. Protecting your time is not selfish, it is an act of self-respect. Marcus Aurelius emphasized focusing on what is within his control. He understood that time wasted on distractions was time stolen from cultivating his character and purpose. When you treat your time as sacred, others follow your lead. They learn to respect your schedule because you respect it yourself. Time boundaries also extend to digital distractions. Turning off notifications, setting work blocks, or creating do not disturb periods are modern Stoic practices. By protecting your time, you assert control over your life, creating a foundation that commands respect naturally. Another key part of protecting your time is learning how to prioritize without mercy. Not every encounter, request, or chance is worth your time. Ask yourself, will this help me reach my goals or get in the way of them? This simple query is a modern version of Seneca's ideas. He kept telling himself to focus on what was important and not worry about things that didn't matter to other people. Make it obvious to folks who keep crossing the line what your limits are. If a coworker keeps asking you things that could wait, for example, you could sweetly but firmly tell them, "I want to give this my full attention later. Can we talk about it after I'm done with my current task?" This shows that you respect both yourself and them, and that your time has value and structure. Another piece of advice is to make a time audit for yourself. Keep track of how you spend your time for a week. You might be surprised at how much time you waste on things that aren't important, like surfing through social media or doing jobs that someone else could do. It's easy to guard your time and set limits with other people if you see the truth. Marcus Aurelius often told himself that he should only use his energy for things he could really control. Today, this means being able to tell the difference between urgent tasks and very critical ones. When you regard your priorities as sacrosanct, you teach other people to respect your time without even having to say anything. They know that disruptions are no longer important to you. Saying no is more than just turning down requests. It's a way to take control of your life. The Stoics thought that a strong character came from being able to control yourself. You are showing that you are in charge of yourself when you refuse to let your focus be taken away. This automatically earns you respect from others. Lastly, make habits and rituals that help you stay focused to protect your time. This can involve spending the first hour of your day on meaningful work, making time for meditation or introspection, or planning breaks on purpose to refuel. People come to respect your attention because of these modest, persistent routines that set the rhythm of your life. Number 2, speak with intent and clarity. Your words are a reflection of your mind. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Clarity in communication is a boundary that signals confidence and self-respect. When you over-apologize, over-explain, or hedge your statements, you undermine your own authority. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm sorry, but could you maybe handle this?" a stronger alternative is, "I need this completed by tomorrow." One statement conveys uncertainty, the other conveys authority. Speaking with intent doesn't mean being aggressive. It means being deliberate, consistent, and aligned with your values. Practical example, in a workplace setting, when someone tries to push back on a deadline you've set, calmly restate your boundary. "I understand your concerns, but this is the timeline we agreed on." This demonstrates firmness without hostility. The Stoics taught that inner control translates to outward respect. Marcus Aurelius believed in acting rationally and deliberately. When your speech is precise and intentional, it reflects the control you have over your mind and actions. People sense this control. It draws respect because it shows you are not reactive or easily swayed. Another strategy: avoid filler words and unnecessary apologies. These may seem polite, but they dilute your presence. Instead, practice assertive communication by focusing on facts, intentions, and expectations. Over time, this becomes a powerful boundary. People learn to take your words seriously and honor your space. Being concise and intentional in speech is also a form of respect for others' time. When you speak with purpose, people listen. And when they listen, respect naturally follows. To make this border even stronger, make sure your actions match your words. The Stoics said that being honest is not just about what you think, but also about what you do. Epictetus said, "First tell yourself what you want to be, and then do what you need to do." People naturally learn to trust and appreciate what you say when your words and actions are always in line with each other. Your words mean something since they have been shown to be true. Another useful approach is to learn how to stop. Take a time to think about what you want to say before you do. This break demonstrates that you are thoughtful and in control, and it stops you from speaking too quickly or without thinking. A calm, methodical response shows that you are in control of your mind and that other people's feelings can't readily change it or make you act quickly. If someone unfairly criticizes your work or questions your judgment, instead of getting defensive, take a moment to say, "I appreciate your point of view. This is why I made this choice." This method keeps authority without being aggressive, and it also shows that you can regulate your emotions and thoughts. When you talk or meet with them, make your points plain and direct. Don't use extra words like "I think" or "maybe" to hedge your claims. Using strong, precise language like "This is the approach we will follow" or "I recommend this solution" shows that you are sure and certain. Marcus Aurelius did this in his writing and leadership. He was clear and purposeful, which made people trust and respect him. Finally, remember that to speak clearly, you also have to listen. When you really listen, you may think about how to respond instead of just responding. Epictetus tells us that we can learn a lot by watching and learning before we say anything. When you listen properly, your words are clearer, more relevant, and more powerful, which makes people appreciate you more. Number 3, emotional boundaries. Master your inner fortress. One of the most overlooked boundaries is emotional. Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Emotional boundaries protect your mental and spiritual space. You don't need to absorb negativity, drama, or manipulation from others. For example, When someone criticizes you harshly, you can acknowledge their perspective without internalizing it. I understand your point, but I won't let it disturb my peace. By doing this, you maintain control over your internal world while still engaging respectfully with others. Stoics valued equanimity above all. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about remaining indifferent to things outside his control. By setting emotional boundaries, you avoid giving power to those who would disrupt your calm. This is particularly important in toxic environments or relationships. Practical scenario: if a colleague consistently complains or tries to provoke you, instead of reacting emotionally, respond with measured detachment. I hear your concern, but I will address it in a way that aligns with my priorities. This is not avoidance, it is strength. People respect composure because it signals that your inner world is protected and cannot be easily manipulated. Emotional boundaries also prevent burnout and increase focus. By keeping control of your inner state, you can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, which further reinforces your authority. Another important part of emotional boundaries is knowing that you can't control how other people act, just how you react. Seneca once remarked, "We suffer more in our minds than in real life." People often overreact because they attach too much weight to what someone else says or does. You stop others from dominating your inner state when you step back and look at your emotional reactions objectively. One useful way to do this is to take a mental break between the stimulus and the response. When someone tries to get you angry, take a long breath, think about it, and then respond carefully. This gives you a buffer zone around your feelings, which lets you act from strength instead of reacting. This becomes second nature over time, and people understand that trying to upset or control you doesn't work. Another way to protect your emotional triggers is to know what they are and do it on purpose. Set clear limitations if certain topics, actions, or environments always make you tired or angry. For example, if gossip or negative talk at work makes you feel bad, gently excuse yourself or change the subject by saying, "I'd rather talk about solutions than complaints." This says that your emotional energy is valuable and not up for grabs. Marcus Aurelius thought a lot about how things and people's opinions don't last forever. He reminded himself that his peace shouldn't depend on what happens outside of him. In today's world, this means seeing criticism, drama, and manipulation as things that happen outside of you, not things that threaten your peace of mind. Your calmness shows that your limits are strong and can't be changed. Lastly, build a support structure that gives you space to feel your feelings. Be with people that boost you up, encourage you, and challenge you in a positive way. The Stoics thought that a wise community makes virtue stronger. Choosing your connections on purpose makes it such that your emotional boundaries are respected and strengthened. You create an internal fortress that other people naturally respect when you learn how to set emotional boundaries. Your presence becomes steady, sure, and unwavering, which makes people look up to you and respect you. Number 4. Stand firm on your principles. Your values are non-negotiable. Seneca warned, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance everything in our lives with what is essential." Boundaries rooted in principles communicate strength. Decide what behaviors, requests, or compromises you will tolerate. Whether it is honesty, loyalty, or fairness, once you have defined your principles, adhere to them consistently. This consistency is magnetic. Practical example: if a friend repeatedly lies or a colleague pressures you to cut corners, firmly communicate your boundaries. "I cannot participate in this because it violates my principles." Consistency in values earns long-term respect, even if it creates short-term tension. Marcus Aurelius emphasized acting in accordance with reason and virtue. By living in alignment with your principles, you protect your integrity and signal to others that you are not easily swayed. People respect those who cannot be compromised because it demonstrates unwavering strength and clarity of character. Principled boundaries also simplify life. Once your core values are established, decisions become easier, conflicts are clearer, and interactions are more predictable. This clarity creates respect by demonstrating that your life is intentional and guided by a higher standard. To make this border stronger, you need to gently and consistently explain your beliefs. You don't have to dispute or explain every choice you make. Just saying what you believe with certainty shows that your beliefs are not up for debate. If someone at work tries to get you to do something that goes against your morals, you could say, "I see your point, but I can't give in on this. My values help me make choices." People learn over time that your word means something because you always do what you say you would do. Another important method is to make sure that your daily behaviors are in line with your values. Stoicism believes that virtue is shown by how you act, not merely what you believe. Marcus Aurelius wrote a lot about how to live by reason and justice. You build your reputation as someone who can't be influenced by convenience, peer pressure, or temptation by always acting in line with your principles, even in minor, everyday choices. For example, if honesty is one of your basic values, don't make things up or cut corners when it would be easy to lie. People trust and respect you tremendously when they realize that you always tell the truth. People respect individuals who live by their values, not merely talk about them. It's also vital to notice and stay away from those who question your beliefs without trying to understand them. It's okay if not everyone respects your boundaries. Epictetus said that you should pay more attention to what you can control, such as your actions and choices, than to what other people do. When you cut ties with people who don't respect your values, you protect your integrity and make it clear that your life is guided by your own rules, not the rules of others. When you stick to your beliefs, you also encourage people to think about their own. People look up to others who live by their values all the time as an example of courage and honesty. Seneca said that virtue is contagious, and by living by your principles, you make the world around you better as well as yourself. Lastly, keep in mind that setting principled limits is a long-term plan. If you refuse to compromise, there may be short-term disagreements or tension, but this resistance builds respect over time. People who try to persuade or manipulate you will soon see that you have strong standards. In the Stoic view, living by principles isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about building inner strength, dignity, and clarity, which will earn you respect from everyone around you. Number 5, guard your physical and personal space. Physical boundaries are tangible demonstrations of self-respect. How people interact with your body, belongings, and personal environment reflects how seriously they take you. Marcus Aurelius was mindful of his surroundings and interactions. By maintaining clear personal space, you communicate that your environment and energy are not open for exploitation. Simple statements like, "Please ask before using that," or "I need a moment alone," create non-negotiable lines. Practical example: if someone constantly touches your possessions or invades your workspace, address it calmly but firmly. This is not hostility, it is clarity. By protecting your physical and personal space, you send a message. Your presence is valuable, and your boundaries must be honored. Physical boundaries extend to time and energy as well. Ensuring you have private time to recharge, exercise, or reflect is just as important as keeping your desk or room clear. This reinforces that your energy is yours to manage and that others cannot freely consume it. Respect naturally gravitates towards strength and clarity. When your physical and personal boundaries are enforced consistently, people learn to navigate your presence thoughtfully. This boundary is the final piece that solidifies a life others cannot ignore. Setting up rituals that reinforce boundaries is another important way to protect your personal and physical space. For instance, set up certain hours for work, rest, and thinking about yourself. Marcus Aurelius often talked about how following rules in daily life could help people find inner peace. People rapidly learn that they shouldn't bother you when you're in these times if you always protect them. If a family member or roommate keeps coming into your room without telling you, gently say, "I need some time alone right now. Please knock before you come in." By saying this in a polite but forceful way, you make it clear that you want your personal space to be respected. This also lowers stress because everyone knows what to expect. Managing how you interact with other people is also a part of setting physical boundaries. For example, if someone emotionally leans on you in a way that drains you, it's fine to say, "I want to help you, but I also need time to recharge. We'll chat later." This makes it clear that your energy is limited and that taking care of it is part of respecting yourself. Seneca, another Stoic, said that your peace of mind shouldn't depend on what happens outside of you. You can operate with more calmness when you manage your environment and space. This reduces unneeded friction. People naturally respect individuals that keep everything in order, control, and clear in their surroundings. Also, keep your digital space safe as part of your physical limits. Stop getting notifications that you don't need. Establish times for when you can check your email or messages, and put limits on how much time you can spend on social media. These digital habits show that your time and energy are precious, and they keep other people from bothering you without your permission. Finally, keep in mind that if you always enforce your personal and physical limits, people will learn how to treat you. People don't usually respect someone who lets people bother them all the time. When you preserve your energy and environment, you show that your time, presence, and health are important to you. This last barrier makes the framework of a life built on self-respect, strength, and clarity. These are traits that naturally earn others' regard. You can't demand respect. You have to earn it by doing the right things all the time. You naturally earn respect by conserving your time, speaking clearly, staying emotionally strong, sticking to your beliefs, and keeping your personal space. The Stoics remind us that this is not about dominating others. It is about mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all taught that self-respect, calmness, and self-control spread to others. People can't help but notice when you live by these rules. Use these 5 limits today. Notice how the way people act starts to change around you. Strength, clarity, and self-respect spread, and they make people want to recognize and admire you. You are the one who initiates respect. Boundaries aren't walls. They're the structure of a life that other people naturally respect. You don't merely survive when you conquer them. You take control of the place you deserve.